Dallas is the scene of some of the world's most heinous acts of violence. Texas, and we're going to examine the reasons why the majority of folks are afraid to walk the streets today. Dallas's drill scene isn't as well known as those in Chicago and New York, but Texas is home to some of the most bizarre and violent feuds in the rap industry. It's unclear when OTS and FBG first started their feud, but it's one of the most disrespectful conflicts in history. In 2021, OTS allegedly killed an FPG affiliate named Fats, and a few months later, they allegedly turned on FPG once more and killed a man named John. In 2022, OTS allegedly spotted an FPG affiliate outside the store and shot 6 people in broad daylight. FPG clapped back and attempted to remove a man from OTS named 223 Trey. FPG stood on the crib where 223 Trey lived and shot it up, but they unintentionally killed 223 Trey's mother. Instead, OTS was going through some internal turmoil as well, and a few months later, they were accused of backdooring their own system. However, TGOTS continued to put pressure on the operations, and in October 2023, a guy from OTS named Cameron Turner shot 3 ops at the state fair. It's unclear if the man was from FBG, but FBG retaliated and killed another innocent woman. While FBG and OTS were engaged in street combat, a man from FBG named J3 got crazy and fired up a house because he believed an OTS guy resided there. However, instead of killing the ops, he murdered a random grandmother. It's a little confusing at first because FPG Murder actually represents OTS and used the FPG brand to make fun of the ops. However, when he urinated on an ops grave in one of his music videos, he took the disrespect to a whole new level. FPG Murder is said to have a cousin named Strizzy in FPG, and on the song Dizzle Smoking, FPG Murder raps, I Catch You, around with the ops. Yes, that's how you get shot, bro. And allegedly disses his own cousin as well. He also allegedly wraps up the Broad Day gang. He understand what we did based on rumors. FBG Murder's homie OTS Yakuza is the one who killed Fats, and if all of the rumors about him are accurate, he is one of the city's most evil people. Yakuza's older brother, Steya, is also a well-known shooter, and the two of them are said to have killed FBG Fats in broad daylight back in 2021. A month later, Yakuza allegedly connected with his homie. T-Man allegedly provided phony money to defraud Kobe Mascoro, a dealer. When Kobe discovered what was happening, Yakuza allegedly shot him in the head, and then Number 7, a man close to Mo 3, allegedly paid Yakuza to remove his OP. Billy, from the group B4L Yakuza, is also the one who allegedly pulled the trigger on TG. GTGG was cool with dudes all over the city and allegedly snaked a few of his own homies, as according to rumors. STG was trying to play both sides and was kicking in with OTS and FPG at the same time, so Yakuza killed him. The situation looked sketchy from the jump. P and Yakuza allegedly tried to throw everyone off by showing love to TG on Instagram right after the murder. Yakuza wasn't booked for the shooting G, but 2 other OTS members went down for it. Yakuza skated on the murderer, but the cops think he brutally killed 2 dudes in 2024 while they were trying to make a gun deal. El Yakuza linked up with Cam and Mario from a set called CTG and was supposed to be trading them guns for switches, but the situation went left, and Yakuza allegedly shot both of them to death outside of a store. The cops finally caught up to Yakuza after he allegedly killed Cam and Mary. He tried to run the cops over with a stolen truck and do the race, but it didn't work out for him. And Yakuza's been locked up ever since. The cops almost caught Yakuza before Thedos, though and after the Cam and Mara murders, Yakuza was at Walmart with his mom when someone pulled up and started shooting up his whip. Yakuza didn't get hit, but his mom got shot and almost didn't make it out. FBG Murder started popping off in the rap game and has been putting on for OTS in the booth, but in 2025, J3 Get Busy went viral, cause he dissed OTS like nobody's ever seen. Before J3 has been locked up for allegedly killing an innocent grandma, and while he was in jail, he actually got 223. Trey's dead mom's name tatted on him. The drill scene in Dallas has been making headlines cause they're on a different level of disrespect. But some of the wildest crews aren't even really rapping about their dirt, and one set even at a pet alligator that the cops took away in February 2025. The cops in Dallas shook down the F2 Oakland Cribs and booked 8 of them from running. Drugs and guns in the city. At first it looked like a normal gang bus. The cops found 14 guns, a bunch of pills, and $47K in cash, but then they raided one of the stash houses and found a live alligator inside when the news broke that the Crips had their own alligator. Some crazy rumors started going around that they were feeding their ops to it. But there's no evidence to back that story up. Dallas has a ton of gangs, but it also has killers that'll take you out for no reason. In 2022, a dude named Kevin Sheffield was driving around Dallas killing random people. A 64-year-old man named Muhammad Kamar was outside of his apartment on his way to work when Kevin Sheffield rolled by and shot him to death. Then, a month later, Kevin Sheffield hit up another dude named Joseph Sias and left him dead in the street. The cops started following Kevin Sheffield because they linked his mom's car to the shootings, and in September 2024, he pleaded guilty to both of the murders Kevin Sheffield got, hit with a 50-year sentence, and during the sentencing, Joseph Cyrus's brother said, "I wish I'd given you 2 years, because I promised to God I'd blow your T2 head off." However, the story didn't end there. When the police searched the whip Kevin Sheffield used for the drive-bys, they discovered a box of ammunition that they said linked him to 5 further shootings. Kevin Sheffield started shooting people on Christmas Eve 2021 and shot someone in the leg that night. Then a month later, he allegedly shot someone else in the arm while they were getting into their car. A couple weeks later, Kevin Sheffield allegedly shot 3 more people back to back, and one of them was found dead in the street. Kevin Sheffield has been all over the news, but one of the biggest murders in the city was when Mo 3 got killed in broad daylight. Mo 3 have been beefing with rappers all over the city, but his main op was Yellow Beezy Mo 3, and his crew allegedly shot Yellow Beezy, then Yellowy, and his homies jumped Mo 3's manager. The situation kept heating up, and then in 2020, the ops caught Mo 3 on the interstate and killed him. At first, people were saying that it was over some personal drama Mo 3 had with a woman. But in 2025, Yellow Beezy was officially charged with capital murder because the cops think he paid for the hit. Yellow Beez is one of the biggest rappers in the history of Dallas, so the news shocked the whole city. At first, the judge put his bonds at a crazy $2 million, but Yellow Beezy's legal team got it reduced to $750K, and he got out on house arrest until the trial starts. Yellow beyond the capital murder case, which is way worse than a normal murder charge. If he gets convicted, then he'll be doing life without the possibility of parole, or the prosecution could even go for the death penalty if they wanted to. Some people are happy that Yellow Beezy got locked up, but Dallas is known for having some of the worst cops in the country, and in 2018 they brutally murdered an innocent dude who was just sitting in his crib, eating ice cream on September 6, 2018. A cop named Amber Geiger was off duty and went home to her apartment complex, but instead of going to her own apartment, Amber Geiger went to the door of a dude named Botham Jean. They lived in the same building but on different floors, and Amber Geiger allegedly got confused and went to the wrong apartment by accident. When Amber Geiger tried to unlock the door, she noticed that it was already cracked open, so she went inside and saw both of Jean sitting in his living room eating ice cream. Both of them, Amber Geiger pulled out her gun and shot Jean, an innocent black man who worked as an accountant, twice in the chest. Other police officers attempted to hide the incident, and initially Amber Geiger was only charged with manslaughter rather than murder. This led to numerous protests, and Amber Geiger was ultimately charged with murder, but she only received a 10-year sentence after losing the trial. Had they both killed a police officer, they most likely would have handed him the death penalty. But Amber Guy got away with it, and none of the officers who attempted to conceal the evidence were ever charged. Many people in Dallas despise the police, and in 2015, a man named James Bulworth drove an armored van to the police station and began shooting. A number of officers arrived to stop him, but James Bulworth rammed their cars and shot at them from inside the van. He then drove off down the highway and parked at a Jack in the Box while the police surrounded him. James Bulworth claimed the police had taken his son, but no one knew how much firepower he actually possessed. James Bulworth began telling the police that he was going to blow him up, so they sent in a sniper to remove him. James Bulworth's van was armored to stop most bullets, but the sniper killed James Bulworth by first taking out the engine with a .50 cal rifle. The police murdered James Bulworth without losing any allies, but in 2016, a man by the name of Micah Johnson actually engaged in combat with them, making it the deadliest day for police since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Micah Johnson was an Army veteran who became enraged over white police officers killing black men in America. He put on body armor, acquired several firearms, and began hunting down police officers in Dallas. The shooting spree began at around 9 p.m. when he spotted several police officers on Main Street and killed 3 of them from the bench. Other officers retaliated, but Micah continued to shoot, hitting 3 more officers, as well as a bystander. He then proceeded north on Lamar Street and engaged in a gunfight with another officer, killing him. However, after being struck, Micah Johnson walked to El Central College and shot 2 security officers. Micah Johnson entered the college and began shooting at police officers on the street. At that point, additional police arrived on the scene and entered the building. Micah Johnson and the SWAT team engaged in a gunfight, exchanging at least 200 rounds of gunfire, but they were unable to reach him. The standoff continued for several hours as the officers tried to devise a plan, ultimately deciding to strap a bomb to a robot and drive it directly at Michael Johnson. The plan sounded absurd, but it worked, and the cops destroyed Michael Johnson. In Dallas, you never know who might come out and kill you because even teenage girls are active in the trenches. In 2024, a man named Jake Reynoso was approached by 4 robbers on North Houston Street. 2 girls, ages 15 and 16, were present, along with 2 older men. Jake Rios attempted to flee, but one of the robbers pulled out a gun and killed him. It's unclear who actually pulled the trigger, but the 2 girls and 2 men were all arrested on capital murder charges. In 2022, 2 of them were killed by a man who went to the Methodist Dallas Medical Center to see his girlfriend because she was about to give birth. It should have been a wonderful day, but when he entered the room, things took a turn for the worse. Apparently, Nestor Hernandez believed the girl had been unfaithful, so he pistol-whipped her in the face and declared, "Whoever comes in this room is going to die with us." Nestor Hernandez shot both Kate Flowers and Jackal Pakul to death when they attempted to intervene and defuse the situation. He then reloaded his gun and was ready to leave the room to shoot more people, but a hospital police officer shot him in the leg, and he instantly surrendered. What's even more bizarre about the story is that, despite having just killed 2 of their co-workers, Nestor Hernandez was given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. But this next murderer messed with the wrong man and died in prison, Dallas, his home to many savages. But one of the most insane killers was a man named Billy Shamir. He was found guilty of killing 2 elderly women, but the police believed that his body count was much higher. Shamir broke into upscale retirement communities to kill elderly women and steal their jewelry. Most of the murders were initially reported as natural deaths because the victims were in their 80s and 90s, but it was obvious that no one was really investigating because all the women had been robbed as well. The most bizarre thing is that Billy Shamir may have killed over 10 women at the same apartment complex in a single year. Eventually, the police caught up to him, and Billy Shamir received 2 life sentences. Everyone knew that Billy Shamir may have killed more than 30 women in a single year, but he was murdered in prison before all the crimes were solved. Billy Shamir and Wyatt Busby were both in a cell. Wyatt Busby was serving a 50-year sentence for killing a man in Houston by stabbing him, and for some reason, Billy Shamir thought it would be a good idea to start making strange remarks about his children. Many of Billy Shamir's murders occurred in 2016, and the Dallas Police Department didn't even solve half of the city's murders that year. More than 160 people were killed, and one of the most heinous crimes was when someone set a lawyer on fire inside his own home. Ira Tobolowsky was a well-liked Dallas lawyer who was battling her son, Stephen Aubrey, over money. It was a tense incident, but no one anticipated what transpired next. In May 2016, someone broke in and attacked Arabolowski at his crib, stomped him out, and then poured gasoline on him before setting him on fire. Both Stephen Aubrey and his attorney were taken in for interrogation, but it took the police years before they made any arrests. According to police records, Stephen Aubrey later relocated to Florida and was caught in 2022 for the murder of Ara Tobolowsky. It appeared like the police had a strong case because Stephen Aubrey had studied burner phones and alibi definitions and had burns on his body. However, the day before the trial was scheduled to begin, the prosecutors abandoned the entire case and Stephen Aubrey skated on everything. You have to be on the lookout for foreign criminals like Transit Aga, one of the most vicious Venezuelan gangs that operates in Dallas as well. In 2024, 4 Transit Aga affiliates abducted a man named Eluli Enrique Arad Petit and shot him in the back of the head, causing him to dump his body, according to the police. Noy was affiliated with Trinadaga too and knew the guys who killed him. All of them were involved with an ATM robbery ring that was active all over the country, and Noy allegedly tried to run off with some money, and that's why he got taken out. Trends at Aga have members all over the place, and a couple months before Nully got murdered, they went viral for taking over a whole apartment building in Colorado. But Dallas is allegedly where most of them stay, and in October 2024, they brutally robbed a woman in her crib and threatened to cut her fingers off a dude named Hernandez, flipped on the rest of the crew instead. He thought they were going to get money from a prostitute who owed one of his homies some money, but instead, they attacked a rich woman in northwest Dallas and held her hostage inside her house. The Venezuelan dudes had to use Google Translate to talk to the woman while they were robbing her, and while some of the gang ran through the house and stole $75K in jewelry, a couple of them stayed with her and said they were going to cut her fingers off. If she didn't do what they said, the violent crime rate in Dallas has been going up like crazy in 2020. The city had 254 murders, which was the highest since the 90s. The cops tried to slow the killing down in 2021 and 2022, but in 2023 the murder rate went up again, and 246 people were taken out that year. 2024 was a little better, but Dallas still has one of the highest murder rates in the country. And now that the drill scene is popping off, there's a good chance the murder rate is going to jump. Everybody,